Article 215.2a states that overcurrent protection shall not exceed that specified in this code or listed in Table 310.15b3 for conductors and cables with ampacities exceeding 1000 mcm. The intent of this article is to ensure that overcurrent protection does not exceed the ampacity of the conductor. This prevents overheating and potential fire hazards. The article applies to conductors and cables of all sizes, not just those exceeding 1000 mcm. However, for conductors with ampacities exceeding 1000 mcm, Table 310.15b3 provides specific ampacity ratings that may be used to determine the appropriate overcurrent protection. Consider the question of whether it is allowed to install a number 6 THHN copper conductor on a 70 amp breaker because 65 amps is not a standard size overcurrent protection device. According to Article 215.2a, the overcurrent protection for a number 6 THHN copper conductor, which has an ampacity of 75 amps, should not exceed 75 amps. Since 70 amps is a standard size overcurrent protection device, it is allowed to use a 70 amp breaker. Therefore, it is not necessary to parallel multiple number 6 THHN copper conductors to achieve a different ampacity rating. The article applies to all conductor sizes, including number 6 THHN copper. It prohibits overcurrent protection that exceeds the ampacity of the conductor. In this case, a 70 amp breaker is an acceptable overcurrent protection device for a number 6 THHN copper conductor. Let's delve deeper into understanding overcurrent protection. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides comprehensive guidelines for electrical installations to ensure safety and prevent hazards. Overcurrent protection is a critical aspect of electrical safety, designed to protect conductors and equipment from excessive current flow, which can lead to overheating, insulation damage, and even fires. Article 215.2a specifically addresses the requirements for overcurrent protection in feeder circuits, which are the circuits that supply power from the service equipment to branch circuits. This article emphasizes that the overcurrent protection device, such as a circuit breaker or fuse, should not exceed the ampacity of the conductor it protects. Ampacity, which stands for ampere capacity, refers to the maximum amount of current a conductor can safely carry without exceeding its temperature rating. The NEC provides ampacity tables, such as Table 310.15b16, that list the ampacities of various conductors based on their size, insulation type, and installation conditions. These tables are essential for selecting the appropriate conductor size and overcurrent protection device for a given application. When selecting an overcurrent protection device, it is crucial to consider the conductor's ampacity and any applicable derating factors. Derating factors are adjustments to the ampacity of a conductor to account for factors such as ambient temperature, the number of conductors in a raceway, and the presence of harmonics. These factors can reduce the conductor's ability to dissipate heat, and therefore its ampacity must be reduced accordingly. For example, if a conductor is installed in a high ambient temperature environment, its ampacity must be derated to prevent overheating. Similarly, if multiple conductors are installed in a raceway, their ampacities must be derated to account for the increased heat generated by the closely spaced conductors. In the specific case of a number 6 THHN copper conductor, its ampacity is typically 75 amps, as per Table 310.15b16 in the NEC, assuming it is installed in a typical application with an ambient temperature of 30 degrees Celsius and no more than 3 current-carrying conductors in a raceway. Therefore, according to Article 215.2a, the overcurrent protection device for this conductor should not exceed 75 amps. Since 70 amps is a standard size overcurrent protection device, it is an acceptable choice for protecting the number 6 THHN copper conductor. It is important to note that the NEC allows for the use of the next highest standard overcurrent protection device in certain situations, as specified in Article 240.4b. However, this exception only applies if the conductor's ampacity does not correspond to a standard overcurrent protection device size. In the case of the number 6 THHN copper conductor, its ampacity of 75 amps is close to the standard overcurrent protection device size of 70 amps, so the exception does not apply. Therefore, it is not necessary to use a larger overcurrent protection device such as an 80 amp breaker in this case. It is also important to understand that paralleling conductors, which involves connecting multiple conductors in parallel to increase the overall ampacity of a circuit, is not a substitute for using the correct size conductor and overcurrent protection device. Paralleling conductors is only permitted under certain conditions, as specified in Article 310.10h of the NEC. These conditions include that the conductors must be the same length, material, size, insulation type, and terminated in the same manner. Additionally, the conductors must be installed in the same raceway or cable. In the case of the number 6 THHN copper conductor, it is not necessary or permitted to parallel multiple conductors to achieve a different ampacity rating. The correct approach is to use a single number 6 THHN copper conductor with a 70 amp overcurrent protection device. In summary, Article 215.2a of the NEC requires that overcurrent protection devices not exceed the ampacity of the conductors they protect. This applies to conductors of all sizes, including smaller gauges like number 6 THHN copper. The ampacity of a conductor is determined by its size, insulation type, and installation conditions, as specified in the NEC ampacity tables. When selecting an overcurrent protection device, it is crucial to consider the conductor's ampacity and any applicable dirting factors. In the case of a number 6 THHN copper conductor, a 70 amp overcurrent protection device is an acceptable choice. Paralleling conductors is not a substitute for using the correct size conductor and overcurrent protection device, and it is only permitted under certain conditions. By following these guidelines, you can ensure the safety and reliability of your electrical installations. Understanding overcurrent protection also involves understanding different types of overcurrents. There are primarily two types of overcurrents: overload and short circuit or ground fault. An overload occurs when the current in a circuit exceeds the conductor's ampacity for a sustained period. This can be caused by connecting too many loads to a circuit or by a malfunctioning appliance. Overloads typically do not cause an immediate trip of the overcurrent protection device, but they can lead to overheating and insulation damage over time. A short circuit occurs when there is an unintended connection between two conductors of different potential, such as a hot wire and a neutral wire. A ground fault occurs when there is an unintended connection between a hot wire and ground, such as a metal enclosure. Short circuits and ground faults cause a large and instantaneous surge of current, which can quickly damage conductors and equipment. Overcurrent protection devices are designed to protect against both overloads and short circuits or ground faults. Circuit breakers are typically used to protect against both types of overcurrents, while fuses are primarily used to protect against short circuits and ground faults. Circuit breakers are electromechanical devices that trip when the current exceeds their rating. They can be reset after tripping, which makes them convenient for protecting against temporary overloads. Fuses are one-time devices that melt and break the circuit when the current exceeds their rating. They must be replaced after blowing, which makes them more suitable for protecting against short circuits and ground faults. When selecting an overcurrent protection device, it is important to consider its interrupting rating, which is the maximum amount of current the device can safely interrupt without failing. The interrupting rating should be high enough to handle the maximum potential fault current at the point of installation. If the interrupting rating is too low, the overcurrent protection device may fail to clear the fault, which can lead to equipment damage and personal injury. In addition to selecting the correct size and type of overcurrent protection device, it is also important to ensure that it is properly installed and maintained. Overcurrent protection devices should be installed in a readily accessible location and should be clearly labeled to indicate their function and rating. They should be inspected regularly to ensure that they are in good working condition and that there are no signs of damage or overheating. It is also important to avoid tampering with overcurrent protection devices or bypassing them altogether. This can create a dangerous situation and increase the risk of electrical shock or fire. In conclusion, understanding overcurrent protection is essential for ensuring the safety and reliability of electrical installations. By following the guidelines in the NEC and selecting the correct size, type, and interrupter rating of overcurrent protection devices, you can protect conductors and equipment from excessive current flow and prevent potential hazards. Remember to consider all relevant factors such as conductor ampacity, the rating factors, and the type of overcurrent being protected against. Regular inspection and maintenance of overcurrent protection devices are also crucial for maintaining their effectiveness and preventing electrical accidents. Let us consider more information regarding the use of Table 310.15b3, which is applicable for conductors with ampacities exceeding 1000 mcm or 1000 circular mils. This table provides adjusted ampacity ratings for conductors based on specific conditions that might affect heat dissipation. These conditions often involve bundling of conductors or their placement in environments with limited airflow. For smaller conductors, the standard ampacity charts like 310.15b16 are typically sufficient, assuming standard installation conditions. However, as conductor sizes increase, the impact of grouping or thermal insulation becomes more pronounced, necessitating the adjustments found in Table 310.15b3. When you encounter a situation requiring the use of Table 310.15b3, you must carefully assess the installation conditions. Firstly, determine the base ampacity of the conductor from Table 310.15b16. Secondly, identify any adjustment factors that apply based on the number of current-carrying conductors in a raceway or cable, or based on the ambient temperature. Thirdly, apply these adjustment factors to the base ampacity to arrive at the adjusted ampacity. The overcurrent protection device must then be selected based on this adjusted ampacity. An important consideration is that the NEC permits rounding up to the next standard overcurrent device rating under certain conditions, as outlined in Section 240.4b. However, this allowance is subject to restrictions and should not be applied indiscriminately. Always verify that the calculated or adjusted ampacity aligns with the selected overcurrent protection, ensuring that the protection never exceeds the conductor's safe carrying capacity. Finally, ensure that all calculations and selections are documented, providing a clear record of how the overcurrent protection was determined. This documentation is invaluable for inspections and future reference, and it demonstrates a commitment to safety and compliance.